can have a look at Slooh tonight. This is where you can actually go in and use telescopes from, they got set in Tenerife and a couple down in Chile. As I say, when you've signed in, you come up with this this page here. This is like the home page, which you can get to all the time by going back to that one there. Okay, so this is me signed in. So I stopped using it for quite a while, basically because it got a little bit pricey. I started onto it when I fell ill once and couldn't do any observing. I found it was quite handy just to be able to log in now and again and have a look at some objects. So as I say, what we're going to do is have a look through mainly this menu here. This menu over here is mainly your sort of account and stuff like that. You can click into that one and it brings up all your missions and everything else, but you can get to that from here anyway. Okay, so say your main home page is this one here, and this brings you to your dashboard. Now on the dashboard, there's quite a few things in here that's handy. They say observations. This is basically the latest observations from members within the Slooh family, if you want to call them a better word. That wasn't me, by the way, but someone called Pete's had taken an image of Jupiter. Okay, that was from Chile. And so you can go into there, and there's an awful lot more you can look into. You know, a lot more images and stuff that people have put up. So some of the latest images are there. You can just, all right, go back that way. You can go through the images by doing this here. Okay. Now then, if we go on down, these are some of the missions you can do. These are some of the pre-select missions that Slooh put up, make it nice and easy for you to find any, you know, sort of missions or objects that they're planning to look at tonight. Now you can look at any of these you want to. If you're not booking into the mission, so you can just carry on and click into these and schedule them, and you get a little alert coming up to tell you when your mission's coming up. Okay, I'll play around with this afternoon, and I scheduled that one myself. Okay, now guides. Go down to the guides. This is basically the how-tos on the website. So gravity points. It's because the more you're on this page, the more you do, you get gravity points and things like that, you know, and badges to sort of show and prove how active you are within there. Okay, and then there's a guide to the telescopes on the Canary Islands. Let's get rid of that like that. There we go. Okay, you can go across. There's famous astronomers. There's a guide there to some of the famous astronomers you can read about. A guide to Taurus, if you're interested in Taurus. Guide to galaxies. That's quite good in there, because it gives you, you know, all the different types of galaxies that you can see. And then there's a good one here, Guide to Slooh, which actually gives you an idea of how to use this website. Okay, plenty more in there. I'm not going to go through them all, else we'll be here all night long. Okay, so we carry on down to quests. Now these quests are sort of set up quests. If I click into this one, basically what it does is you can start a quest and you start taking images of items within this quest. Okay, and all those images then are added together and ends up being in a nice big poster of all the images you've taken together for the quest of that topic. And so many different topics in there. So this is the nice easy side of Slooh. You can just click into here and away you go. The only problem is it does keep going back to the other page. So say you got the sun, moon, galaxy neighbors. There's only 3 or 4 questions in there, but it's quite good. Gets you used to using the telescopes. Okay. Slooh shows. These are some of the shows that Slooh have done over the period. This is the super moon, so you can go in there and watch. It takes you to YouTube, I think, and you can see the YouTube video of this. Okay, and the other one, if you ever missed the transit of Mercury last year, like we did, 'cause it was cloudy, go in there and watch that. And giant asteroid hurtles past Earth. That was when I can't remember the name of the asteroid went by Earth, but there's a video of that as well. So there's awful little, you know, a lot of little things in there. Really good to look at. Okay, illuminations. Now then, this is sort of stories that some of the Slooh members have sort of put together. I went in that one earlier on, the Star Trek, and I had no idea what that was about. But identifying solar system features are quite good in there. other ones, finger dots and messiers, shadows and lights. There's all sorts of stuff in there. What I say, this is stuff that people have put together over time. Okay, and then we got popular clubs. Now, basically, in here, what you've got is a lot of the clubs have made up their own little page. We can go in and ask questions. Once again, it's sort of discussion board more than anything else. You know, you can go in and talk to people, ask questions. The art of astro imaging. So if you've got any questions, you can go in there and ask them. Okay. Astronomer Anonymous, that's just basically, you know, ask whatever you want. Ask away whatever you want in that one. And Nightscapes. Okay. So there's many clubs in there. Some of them are public, some of them are private. You can ask to join them, but as a Slooh member, you can actually get in there. Okay. That's basically everything you get from the dashboard. Just gonna do that. So we're going to now go into this next menu just here. Okay. Now then, on this one, the home button, that just takes you back to there again, so we don't need to click that one. Guides is like an explanation of a lot of the different things that you're going to be using, like astronomical guides. I'll probably just keep flicking up this thing. Canary Island Observatory. So once again, the Chile Observatory, so we want to know about the telescopes in Chile. The Guide to Galaxies, again, let's say the famous astronomers. It's very similar to what was in the other one. It's like another loop around to that one, but it's really good to get yourself around this sort of website. Okay, many different things in there. What was in that down there, we can actually get to in here, I believe, along the top of here. Hang on, wait. So object type. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, so you've got, as I say, sort of discussion board that's in with the guides as well there, and the clubs and the quests. So again, once again, you're back to these quests again. It's another way of getting into it. This website can be a little bit sort of confusing. They seem to fill it out with stuff twice, and I'm not really sure why. Right. So what we're going to do now is going to go down. I'll open this one up again. So once again, the shows. You can get in the shows again and see. I think there's more shows in this one if I remember rightly. Remember that was that one. Yeah, so this is like the main area of those shows I showed you on the first page. There's many more in here, the different shows that links you around to the YouTube channel they've got. Okay, it goes right up, I think it goes right up sort of about 10 pages in here. So you get, the annular eclipse there in the USA in 2012. It goes way back. I think it's most of the videos they've ever done. All right. Now about Slooh in here, that tells you all about it. Tells you about, the people who were there running it, how it's run, telescopes, bases. Now membership, this is quite interesting. So I used Slooh a long time ago. I probably started about 8 years ago. It wasn't too badly priced, but then the price went up quite dramatically. And I found it wasn't really and truly worthwhile the money I was paying for it to actually, I wasn't using it enough. But they seem to have reconciled their prices just a little bit lately. So this is the different price scales you can get. You can start off as a student. So if you're still a student, you can get a £20, $1, because it is an American site, so it's all in dollars, $20 a year, which isn't too bad. This is the one I got, which is a apprentice level, and this is actually $100 a year. It works out to just over about £5 a month, so I think that's not bad. Now for that, you can go in and you can actually log yourself into a mission. You can do one a day. Okay, so you are limited a bit, but you can actually go into it as well and watch all the other missions that are being, taking place at the same time. So I'll show you in a moment how that happens. Or if you're feeling quite sparse, quite affluent, I should say, you can get the $300 package here. Okay, and that gives you, I think you're allowed up to 20 missions a day, I think it is. So you can do more with that, that's for sure. Definitely do more with that one. But to say, for what I use it, I find this quite adequate. I can go in now and again, have a look at what's going on, take a few photographs, and And when it's cloudy here in Scotland, which it sometimes is, sometimes, I think quite often, you know, we can get a bit of rain now and again as well, so it's quite cloudy. So therefore, this is a good way to actually get in and do a bit of astronomy. It's a lot warmer than being out in the observatory as well. Another thing you can do if you've got groups in schools is this one here. The price does jump up dramatically when you come to this though. If you're an astronomy club, you can join in as a 30 pack, so you'd have one person running the show and 30 people can come in and, you know, come into it as well. But that's now you're up to $500 a year. Or a 75 pack is up to $1,000 a year, and a 1,000 pack is up to $10,000 a year. So I don't think many people would be taking that unless it's universities and the like, I would think. But if you want to join, that's the way to join. You go into your individual price and say apprentice is quite good. It's quite good, you know, for £5 a month. It's not a great deal. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do now is have a look at the telescopes, how you get into the telescopes and what you can do with them. Right, so when you click in the dome, which is here, look, okay, this is the main page. This shows you all the telescopes that are available and whether they're online or offline at the time. Okay, everything at the moment is offline because the sun hasn't set anywhere yet. Okay, sometimes you might think, well, that's, you know, look, Canary 1 is on, but Canary 2 is off. Why is that? Well, sometimes they're taken down for maintenance. You know, they might have a problem with them. But normally, if the weather's good, then they're normally all running. So you get a good choice of what you want to look at. And Canary 5 is the solar telescope as well. So there's always something to do in the daytime. If it's sunny in Tenerife, which is quite often is, more so than it is in Scotland. Okay. So, how do you book a slot? This is the next thing. Before I do that, I'm going to go to this photo hub. This is something you do because whenever you're in Slooh, you can actually take a photograph of what you're looking at. Okay. I've been using Slooh for quite a while, so there's a fair amount here that I've taken photographs of. This was the latest one. So here's your photo hub. If you just roll over it, it comes up with some details. It tells you it's Messier 87, and it's taken on Chile 1, which is the wide field telescope in Chile. And that was on the 20th of April at 0108. Okay. Now, if you click details, it brings it up big. I'm not going to do that one because it was a terrible picture. Even they have trouble taking pictures sometimes. I will go back and I'll do this one instead. Okay. So this is the globular cluster M86. So once again, the image isn't brilliant. A lot of things can affect the image, obviously the weather, the seeing and everything like that. And also they may have trouble with the telescopes as well. But so I have quite a few, and it does show you what you can actually get. Now these pictures, if you actually go to this side, you can write an observation. So if you see something unusual or you just want to write about the observation you've done, you can click that and that comes into down here, entitle it here and write your observation into there. The tag, I don't know what the tag's for, whether if you see someone there you want to tag them, I have no idea. This is just tags for different things, you know, star clusters or whatever. This button here, you can actually download the images, and as I say, you can download it, put it through your software you use for embellishing the images, you know, and then actually make it look better. And this button here, you can actually upload the image again, or you can upload other images you've taken if you want to and put them into your photo hub. Okay. That one. As I say, quite a few images I've taken. I'll just show you some of the good ones. I want to go to page 5. So as I say, this is your page along the bottom. Everything is running a little bit slow. Okay. Why is that not onto there? It's not letting me move over for some reason. There's something going on. Well, here we go. As I say, this is quite a good one. Obviously, one of the favourites we all love to image, the Orion Nebula. So it looks quite blue there. I don't know why. There's some more blue filter used than anything else. But so you can always download it, have a play around with it, and get it darker if you wanted to. I don't know why it's not going any further, but it's just not moving across. I've got about 10 different pages in here. 9. Oh, here we go. And this, obviously, we've got the solar system as well. A nice one of Saturn I took a while back. And the other good thing about using Slooh, because these telescopes are further south, you can get some of the objects that are really difficult to get from here, especially this far north in Scotland, like this one here, the Swan Nebula M17. It's very, very low on the horizon from here. You've got to loon out the way, and you've got to have good conditions to see it. Let's say with Slooh, you can go down there and just have a look at it, take a picture, do what you want with the pictures. And as I say, they've also got a solar telescope. So if you're not a night hawk, you can stay up during the day and do some solar observing. Again, click into it. And I think it's quite impressive, the detail you get off this hydrogen alpha telescope they got there. There's a nice prominence just showing out here. And there's a active region there with the sunspot in the center. Okay. And you can see all the faculae on the surface of the sun as well. So it is a really, really good sort of system. So as I say, if you want to set up a mission, it's quite easy. There's different ways of doing it. The way I used to do it was to go into here. You go into setup mission. Now there's different ways of choosing the mission you want to do. You've got by the Slooh 1000. This is like the 1000 most popular items to look at. So that's nice and simple. You go in there, choose the category you want, and you get a drop-down list of everything here. So you get planets, minor planets, comets, moon, open clusters, globular clusters, emission nebula. The list is endless. Okay, so let's say you want to go for a globular cluster or planetary nebula. Let's go. They're always good. It then opens up here step 2, which is choose an object. So we've worked out what objects are going to be available tonight. And once again, it is a massive, massive list. You can spend days in here and you will not get everything. One of the favorites in the Northern Hemisphere, the Dumbbell Nebula. So if you wanted that, you would just click that one. And then you click hit a mission or find a mission. I'm not going to do that, so I want to show you a different way to get into it. And then just up over here will come schedule mission, and that's you in, and you'll get an email alert to tell you when your mission is about to start. Okay. But by using this up here, there's other ways you can do it. By constellation is really good actually. Because say, like you're at one of the meetings and Mick said, oh, there's so-and-so in Auriga, have a look at that tonight. And you go home and you think, what was it he said in Auriga? I have to have a look at, I can't remember. You can go to the constellation, all 88 are in here. So we can go down to Auriga. Once again, it will have a look, see what's in Auriga. And you can go down there, was it that one, was it that, was it this? Oh, M37, that was it, say. You know, so you click that one, find a mission, once again, schedule it, and away you go. Let's say, absolutely brilliant way of finding stuff that you may not have seen in those constellations before. Okay, so just choose a constellation on there. Okay, you can do it by catalog. In here, I think it's got the 3 catalogs. So you can go in the Bennett, the Caldwell, Messier, and NCG catalogs. Okay, so obviously Messier is quite good. I've been imaging quite a few of them myself over the last few days, and surprisingly enough, we've had 4 clear nights up here. But what you've got to do here is actually type in the designation you want. So let's say you wanted M27, just put 27 into there. You check availability, and it brings up here. But what this actually does here, it actually allows you to choose what sort of image processing you want to do for it. So it's a good idea to know what you're putting in there, and you know what you're needing, what you're needing it for. So you've got a large bright nebula. Yeah, it's fairly bright, so you can go with that one, try what happens there. Or you do a faint nebula, it might bring out more. So you can have a play around with that. So then once you do that, final thing, just tap to find it, and then if it's available, it'll let you actually book that slot. But this is quite a good one. It's what I'm using quite a bit at the minute. So I'm trying to get a few more of the Southern Hemisphere stuff, because obviously they've got the one down in Chile. in the Canary Islands is good. You can see further south than what we can here, but in Chile you get all the southern objects, you know, magnetic clouds, everything else is down there. Now the way, if you're up at the night time and you want to book one tonight, this is everything that's booked through from Chile 1. Okay, so Chile 2, you can go to the Canary Isles there. And let's just see on Chile 1, see if there's any spare slots. You scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. It was earlier on, but oh no, there is. So this slot here, I can choose it. Just click into that. Now you want to be sure that you know what you're going to be doing on this one before you go in, because there is a time limit of how long you can be on here. Okay, it stops it being left open and hindering other members getting in there and booking slots. Okay, so you only got about 5 minutes to book what you want. So once again, you can do the Slooh 1000, do it by constellation, by catalog, and by coordinates. So coordinates is a new one on here, because what you can do is say there's something in the sky like a comet, you know what the coordinate is, and it's not in the list. You can go in there and you can put your right ascension and declination into it. Okay. I'm not actually done this one myself yet, but you can choose what it's going to be as well. Okay. So that's a handy one. Say it's basically the same, but you want to know what you're going in for, because say you go in by catalog. Choose your catalog again. I won't go catalog, let's do something else. Let's go in by yeah, as I say, this is the reason why you need to know what you're going to be looking for at the time, because it's going to ask you what you want to put in there. Except if you do on this one, this is Slooh 1000, so it'll have got a list of 1,000 things you can look at. Okay. So there's no missions available for comments. So there's no mission, you know, missions there. Then it'll ask you to do something else. Open clusters, brings up the list, and away you go with your list there. Okay. So really handy way to actually get a mission going if you've got a spare slot. But I'll come out of that. So if anybody wants that slot, they can have it. I'll pick one later on. As I say, you can see these slots are quite late at night. Now, the good thing is you don't actually have to be up to watch it, because Slooh, as good as they are, they'll actually take a couple of photographs for you and put it into your hub. So you can come in the morning when you're nice and fresh with a cup of coffee and have a look at what you've got. Obviously, as I say, they do have weather troubles. They have humidity troubles. And if you go into the telescopes, I think we do it from here. No, I'm going to go back to the telescopes. If you click in the telescope here, it tells you it's offline, okay, and then you can come down and it gives you the information of the current time. Now the current time is all in UTC, which is the same as Greenwich Mean Time, so we're an hour ahead of that. So 23:10 is going to be 10 past midnight for us, okay, and then there's your current time there. And what you can do, let's say it's a little bit confusing, this thing sometimes. Got the weather forecast there, so you think, well, will it be open or not? And they give the weather forecast for whichever telescope you're in, whether it be Tenerife or whether it be Chile. Okay. And status report, that's quite good. It'll let you know if that telescope's going to be online or not. And the weather conditions, so it's clear at the minute, humidity moderate with low winds. So they should be opening up tonight. Can't see any reason why not. Okay. No, it just says here, Chile 1, wide field remain offline, and the filter wheel replaced. So they say it's always good to get in there to see if they're opening up or not. Okay, so that is basically it for Slooh, how you book a slot. What I'll do is I'll just live book one while I'm here. Okay, oh, there, just to show you how it works. I'll do a nice simple one. I'll take it at the 1000. So to say, you just actually click into there. Let's go with a globular cluster. I do like globular clusters, I must admit. So it's checking all 6 of those telescopes, so this does take a little while. There we go. So we choose the objects. Now, I don't think I've ever seen the one. So let's go. I've not done much of the Bennett. That's NGC 6642. So not sure where it is, but I'll show you how you find out where you're going in a minute. And you click the find the mission. The mission's at 4 o'clock in the morning. I will not be up for that, I'm sure. So I'll just let them take some photographs and just hit schedule mission. So that's it. We're on a mission off to NGC 6642 at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you something else of what happens when you get into the mission. I'll put up a little PowerPoint. Let me take 2 or 3 minutes to go through this. It just shows you what happens when you actually get into your missions. Obviously, I can't run one live because the scopes aren't up and running at the moment. So let's say what you get. So once again, you can. It's not even if you're in your missions. If you're just on live and you're watching the telescopes sending back whatever they're sending back. So up here, you have got. Oops, didn't need to do that. Let me go back. So you've got, once again, your choice of all your telescopes. Okay, so you can click through whatever you want. Okay, so if you're onto something that isn't really that interesting, you can go and choose another one, if it's online, of course. And also you've got the camera button here. So if you're on something and you like, and you actually like the look of it, you can click that button and it will put a photograph into your photo hub for you. Okay, so just that button there. All right. Now then, the right-hand menu. Just go over one. Back. As I say, this tells you the mission scheduled by, this was Kevin02, whatever he might be, no idea. And it's celestial coordinates. So he's actually put the coordinates in to have a look at this area of sky over here.
Excuse me, Pete.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, are you showing us a PowerPoint just now?
Should be, yeah.
We've still got the web page.
Have you? Sorry, mate. I'll see what's happening here.
It's the web page we're looking at the minute. Right.
Give me 1 moment. I'll start a new share. Have you got his name, Mick? Have you?
That's it.
Right. Okay. I'll start that again. Thanks, Mick. This is why you have a host on these things, because you can't always see what's going on your own screen. Right, so as I say, let me just get back to where I started from. Right. So what you actually have here, you have all your telescopes along the top up here, so you can choose whichever one you want. If you're looking at something that isn't very interesting, you can just click into the next one if it's online. And down here it tells you who scheduled it, and I say he's actually put coordinates into that, so he's only trying to find something, a right ascension, that, and declination of the other. Okay, so there's also this camera button here, so if you are on a page, let's say you're viewing just whatever's coming through on Slooh, you can click that and you'll get a photograph up here, and that'll also go into your photo hub as well. I don't think there's any limit on the number of photos you can take either. I've not found any yet. So as I say, this gives you the information again, the globular cluster and M86, so that's what we're looking at. This was one I think I did actually do myself, if I remember rightly. Okay, so all the information is down this right-hand bar here, and there's a lot of information in here, which I'm just going to go through with the rest of it. Now the star chart, that's really, really good. Just down in this corner, so it shows you, remember I said I'll show you how you know where you're looking in the sky. Well, it shows it. And if you actually click into that one, it brings it up nice and big in the center here. So you can see what constellation you're in, where and what part of the sky. So that represents what you're looking at here. Okay. And if you'll notice, they actually use heavenabove.com, the same as the first web review site we done on this the other week. So it's a really, really good site, that Heavens Above. Okay. And another good thing you can do from here is this little button here, which is play audio. And you get a lovely man with a lovely voice called Bob Berman, who will tell you all about what you're looking at, what type of object it is, where it is, how far away it is, and different things on every different object he'll tell you about. It's really good to get your knowledge base up. Another good thing you'll see on here as well is this scale. Now this is arc minutes. If you don't know what arc minutes is, basically the sky is divided into 360 degrees, and each one of those degrees is divided into minutes. So This is minutes of arc. Okay. So you can see the M68 here is probably about six arc minutes in size, 5-6 arc minutes in size. Okay. And if you click this button just there, you can go full screen, so you get a better resolution. Okay. And if you click this button here with the eye in it, it makes it look as though you're actually looking through the eyepiece. Okay. You can have a photograph like that as well if you want to. And this last one, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Yeah, say down the side, if you go into queue, that was, as I say, the one before it, I was in live. Just go back, see I'm in live there, so that's giving you all the live information. This one, if you hit Q on here, this shows you everything that's coming up on this telescope. By scrolling that down, this gives you everything that's coming up on that telescope that night. Okay. So you can go into them. You haven't got to have that scheduled. You can just go in and watch what's coming through the telescope. Okay. And that I've just put there because I thought it was lovely. I'm nearly finished now. To say, and also to give you an idea of the scale of this compared to that globular cluster. So the arm's reaching out to 5 degrees, about -10 degrees. So you're 15 degrees minutes, 15 arc minutes in size compared to the 6 arc minutes in the other one. So with that, that's me done. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Everybody still there, or they gone home?
Yeah, apologies there, Pete. You forgot to unmute yourself at the start.
I did, sorry about that.
It took me a few seconds to work it out. I was like,
Say, this is the reason why on these things you always have a host to make sure things are going right. But that's yeah. So anyone got any questions or anything, or anything they want to ask?
Well, if nobody else is asking one, so that last bit you showed us, Pete. So after you do a booking,
yeah.
Then you were saying you can go and look at what anybody else is doing at any time.
Yep. Yeah. You know, whatever those 6 scopes they're doing, you can actually go and look at any of them. You know, whatever's coming down, you can watch it as well. You know, and take images of it and whatever you want.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So it's not a case you're just limited to that one schedule every night. You know, you can watch other people's stuff coming down as well, and you can see what's coming up. So if there's something you want to look at and take a photograph of, you just go onto it. You know.
Ah, is there like a calendar for that breaks it all down? I mean, I know there's an individual.
There is, yeah. I'll just show you that again. If I can find out where it was, give me a moment.
Just so it's easier to narrow it down. You know?
Yep, yep. I'll just open that up again to show you. Go back. As I say, if you go into here, click into one of the telescopes. Yeah, you go into Q. Remember what I showed you the Q on the live one. This is on the other version. So prior to it coming on, this will show you everything that's coming on there tonight. Okay. So you've got Jupiter to start with. Saturn. Obviously, this is the chilly one, so it's going to be early hours in the morning. Okay. The 9th of April, the 20th. Tell you what, I'll go and do one of the Tenerife ones. It'll probably make more sense to people. Let me go with that one. So we go to Q again. Yeah, so this is everything that's scheduled for the night, you see. Okay. So a lot of people are having a look at Comet Atlas tonight. Seems to be one of the favorite ones at the moment. So I don't think it's going to do what they said it was going to do now because it's broken up. And say this is one of the celestial coordinates. Someone's also put this in. I didn't know, actually. No, that's Comet Atlas again, isn't it? But he's actually done it by putting the coordinates into it. And you can show more. So say this will show everything that's going on all night long on that telescope. Okay. Yeah, so I'm 51 now. Okay. For the same, you can do that on any of the telescopes that's there and pick and choose what you want to see. You know, obviously, if you haven't booked the mission, then you won't be able to take the photograph. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It won't take a photograph for you, so you will have to stay up for it. You've got a couple of questions coming in, have we?
Yeah. There's one from Bert Joy asking, what's the file format of the photograph?
It's not a brilliant file format. I will have to double check that for you. I think it actually comes out as a PDF. I think. No, is it PDF or? I think it may be a JPEG. It's not brilliant, as I say. It isn't brilliant. Whether you get better ones if you went to the next actual, into the sort of astronomer, you might get better resolution then. But I'll have to check that for you. And what size are the telescopes? Okay, once again, if you go into what I just showed you before, you can hit the telescope and it will give you all the information there of the size telescopes that they're using. Okay, they're all different ones. I can show you if you want me to. I'll just share that again. No, not that one. Right, not one. I'm going to say we're in here again. So you just click about the scope. Okay, and that then tells you everything about it. So that canary one there is a 1/2 meter telescope. Well, obviously it says 1/2 meter on there, but it gives you all the information of where it is, size it is. Okay, I've not actually been into this a lot myself, I must admit. So it says a 20-inch telescope, that one that they're using there. But they've got all different size telescopes for different objects that you're trying to look at. Okay. So that sounds good. Right. Any more questions at all? Let's say, do anyone want to try and put their hand up and say something maybe if they want to ask a question that way? No, I must have explained it quite well then. I thought we've all fallen asleep, one or the other. Okay. Right, okay, well that'll be the end of this. There's got a couple of things I want to go through before we finish. Just to let people know. And so if you've got any questions about Slooh or anything, if you just log on to it, slooh.com, and then you can go to that menu. As I say, the menu is a little bit confusing. I will admit it is a little bit confusing, but it doesn't take long to actually get yourself around it. So pretty good. Right. The BAA webinars, obviously the next one is tomorrow night. We're on Monday. On Wednesday night, their weekly one, but they've also got a special one coming up on the 25th. Now this is the one to cover what would have been their spring meeting. They're going to try and do something online instead. Very similar to this, the summer meeting that was going to happen in Elgin. So if this goes well, they might do something for July the 4th when we were meant to be having the BA meeting in Elgin. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll keep you advised. Right, next Sigma meeting is next one. A webinar we'll do will be the monthly meeting. I won't do one of these next week because it'll be too close together. So we'll be meeting up on May the 1st, where we got Robin Catchpole, who will be coming all the way from South Africa with us. He's in lockdown over there at the moment. I've been online with him. He's happy to do it. We've had a test run, so we'll be doing that, and he'll be covering Frontiers of Astronomy. And that will be room opens at 7, once again 7:30 start. Okay. So if no one else got anything to say and there's no hands up, everyone seems to be happy. And we'll call it a night and say thank you very much for coming along. We've had 16 people in total, so that's quite good for this time on a Monday. And I say we'll see you on Friday the 1st. Okay, everyone.